Wiseman. Rebounded by Bill Wennington, who came on following the timeout, replacing Luke Longley, who had picked up 2 early fouls. Harper passed on the shot. Checking with Jordan. Nice lead for Pippen. And Wennington able to recover. New 24 for the Bulls. The matchup is Childs on Pippen. Ewing came over to help, and then Wennington, the open man, took advantage.
And Charles Oakley, the big forward, out on Ron Harper at 6'4", but the Knicks could never get together and communicate and find proper matchups, and that's why Bill Wennington was left alone.
14-5 Chicago, 8-0 run by the Bulls. Oakley, Charles Oakley making contact with Scottie Pippen, who felt that he was fouled.
Well, the Knicks have a couple of things that they would like to go to right now. They think Larry Johnson can beat Dennis Rodman off the dribble. He hasn't done it yet. And they think Oakley, who's not a post player, can go inside from time to time against Pippen like he did on the last play.
Oh, Jordan off the fake. That's his first miss. And the crowd reacting. All right, here's Johnson posting. And he drew the foul.
Well, the Knicks were all messed up defensively, and Bill Wennington is pointing out where everybody is. Keep an eye on him, as nobody's going to play him, as Patrick Ewing going over for the double team. No rotation whatsoever, as Charles Oakley got caught on a smaller player. He should have been the man to rotate to Bill Wennington, who normally comes up with big games here in Madison Square Garden. You'll remember the Michael's first year back, which is almost a 2-year anniversary now, where he hit the game winner the night that Michael had 55. And last year in a playoff game when Dennis Rodman was driving as a playmaker and found Bill Wennington for 2 open 8-footers, which were crucial in that game.
Well, Bill Wennington, very familiar with this Madison Square Garden court after spending his college days at St. John's. Rodman back for Wennington. And again, the Bulls on the loose ball. Deflected out, though, this time. Last touch by Rodman, but terrific hustle by Dennis Rodman, who never gives up on the play.
And to show you how good Dennis Rodman is at that particular play, Charles Oakley did an outstanding job of boxing him out and still beat him.
Oakley, off the drive, is called for the offensive foul.
Well, Charles Oakley knows he has his hands full. Even though he lost his footing there, he's going to get the body in and pushes off, and felt he had Rodman out of the play. But Rodman, who is so slithery, able just to get away and get out to the corner, which is where he picks up most of those loose balls.
Bulls with a 14-7 lead. Oakley with the rebound. So Jordan hit his first 4. He's missed his last 2. Knicks have not been able to get going here in this first quarter. Johnson backing Pippen. Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson, who has picked up his play after a disappointing start, cuts it to a 5-point Chicago advantage. Now Jordan posting up, leads to the illegal defense call, and that is the first against the Knicks.
Well, that was Charles Oakley looking to get down into the lane to protect on a cutter, and a good defensive play. Unfortunately, with the rules such as they are, it's turned into an illegal play, but that's good defense no matter how you cut it.
So Pippen able to brush by Ewing. Houston doing a nice job here on Jordan. Then he's able to cut to the left, but cannot hit. And a loose ball foul against the Bulls.
And you're right, Marv. Houston did an outstanding job of getting into the body of Michael Jordan, which is what the coaching staff of the Knicks want, because they feel Michael is primarily a jump shooter now, so make him a driver. That's easy to say when you're on the coaching staff. When you're out on the floor trying to keep a guy that quick from beating you up 1-2 quick dribbles, as Michael did, almost impossible.
Foul was called on Wennington, his first. Ewing. Well, the Bulls came with the double team, but Ewing was able to make the move, and it cuts it to a 3-point Chicago lead.
And Allen, Houston getting words of encouragement from Patrick Ewing on that play.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in the first. Well, Rodman again able to keep it alive. call for time and could not as he lands in the stands. And then applauds the official, Scott Foster, for the call.
I thought Dennis was going to do one of his layout dives on this one. This time, once again, Charles Oakley had position and he just had to try to tap it to himself. But Dennis had visions of diving headlong as he did in Chicago about a week ago.
Chris Childs has missed the last 5 games with a sprained wrist. Back in the lineup, Charlie Ward had been the starter and had been playing well. But the Knicks liked the toughness of Chris Childs against the Chicago Bulls. Crowd wanted to travel. Shot clock at 4. Here's Pippen. And that is his first field goal. He missed his first 3 shots.
Well, the stick-to-itiveness of Scottie Pippen on the first foray into the lane. Larry Johnson did an excellent job at 6'7", about 250 pounds, of getting low, bending his knees, sliding along to cut off the drive of Pippen. Then he relaxed just a little bit, stood up straight. Pippen got it back.
Allen Houston. Nice pick set for Houston. Could not put it down, and miscommunication gives the ball back to the Knicks.
Dennis saying, he can't believe that Scottie was not able to handle this pass. He thought he just gently bowled it out to a nice follow through and everything, but Scottie Pippen evidently took his eye off it for just a second and lost it.
First turnover committed by Chicago. They take a timeout. 3:08 remaining in the first. The Bulls by 5. Madison Square Garden, Chicago with a 16-11 lead on the New York Knicks. Always an impressive array of personalities on hand here at the Garden. Woody Allen and Sun Yi. Actor Matthew Modine, who has been a Garden regular. Same for Tom Brokaw, NBC News. Peter Boyle, clapping on cue. And from Chicago, I asked Gene Siskel, is he following the Bulls around on this road trip? And Spike Lee, who was at the earlier Bulls-Knicks game at the United Center. Charlie Ward has come on, replacing Chris Childs. Houston for 3. Yes. So the Bulls now lead 16-14.
Well, Michael Jordan thought that Dennis Rodman was going to need a little help against Larry Johnson, and he backed off, and that's why Allen Houston was so wide open.
And the foul, a hold from behind, called on Houston. That is his second, and it brings John Starks off the bench. So Allen Houston replaced by Starks, who hears it from the crowd. Well, you can go online at NBC.com/sports for full NBA coverage this week. An in-depth report on the Bulls. Many people think, yes, they do think, that they're on the way to another championship. We'll take a look at whether Chicago is beatable. And if so, who are the teams that can do it? Plus, complete recaps from all of today's early games. Foul on John Starks and a technical foul on Starks. So John Starks wasting no time getting into the flow of the game.
And the Bulls wasting no time at going inside with Michael Jordan against John Starks right off the side out of bounds play. And John was just a little shove in the back to push Michael out. That was called quickly. The officials are watching all the inside play very, very closely. You're allowed to have a bent arm in this situation, which John does, but he is using his whole body just to shove Jordan out on it. He felt that there was a little bit on the ticky-tack side, saying he had that arm bent. But by going so hard at the young official, the veteran referee, Hugh Evans, coming over to call the technical, but Scott Fisher had it as well.
Randy Brown has checked in for the first time. He's been a major contributor off the bench for the Chicago Bulls, an excellent defensive player. Here's Ewing putting moves on Wennington. Won't count. Traveling violation.
A pretty nice defensive job there by Bill Wennington after Patrick Ewing felt the initial pressure. That's when Wennington backed up a little bit and it forced Patrick Ewing, who can be very turnover prone, to pick him up and lay him down. Easy walking call.
Scottie Pippen handling. Brown and Jordan in the backcourt. Pippen, Rodman, Wennington up front. Brown